side. The Lilia going to be all over the place here. And again, a very solid, bottom lane that can just lock things down the Achilles. Aphelios. I keep saying Achilles.
You've got
Shout out to
on the
him.
mind. I like it.
Hopefully he's watching. Aphelios Thresh down on the bottom side. Whereas certainly some picks here for DK to flex a little bit with. I like it. Certainly some really flashy team fighting that could happen with a couple of items. And Volibear, a solid pick. I like it. It's a pretty solid top side of the map as well.
Yeah, it gives them some front line that they wouldn't have if they decided to go with something like a Camille, which would have almost showed their hand as far as playstyle. 1-3-1 would, of course, be what they'd be looking for there, and maybe the 3 not going to be strong enough to hold back T1. So I don't mind this. Aiming for a little bit more ability to teamfight, also adding extra magic damage to the composition. And we've seen Volibear into Renekton, the Bear versus the Croc so many times, and the matchup's okay for the Volibear as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So it looks like we're ready to go.
Yeah, here we are into game 1. DK versus T1. Damwon Kia versus T1.
Telecom 1.
That didn't work. Yeah, Tyler 1.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah. I was wondering when we were going to unleash Donkey Kong Tyler 1, but...
Yeah, it was bound to happen at some point. I just love that it's DK. Of course, shout out to one of my favorite game series of all time. Good old Donkey Kong. I think my favorite game is still probably Donkey Kong Country
so?
2.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think so.
I was a really big fan of Final Fantasy X. That story still sticks with me.
That was your favorite Donkey Kong game?
Yeah.
You reckon?
No. My favorite game, Atlas.
It's Valdez desperately trying to bring it back to something that he knows. I like it.
It's like, oh yes, one of the 3 games I've played outside of League of Legends and World of Warcraft. Indeed.
Indeed. Let's go back to the video game, shall we? As we've got Canyon setting things up here. Taking the traps first, actually, to get some popcorn chickens as quickly as he possibly can. We're going to have red starts for both of our junglers. And we'll see what Canyon's plan's going to be. Of course, a very intelligent jungler. And I think a lot of people are going to do some study as to what he's going to be making of this new season on 11.1. But just starting on the chickens, and we'll see where he goes from here.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a jungle player, or if you're a player of this video game that we call League of Legends, watching Canyon is very educational. Because he pretty much does everything right? He's very good at gank timings, jungle pathing, and mechanics. I mean, he's kind of got the full package, so certainly watching him is a fun one. But let's take a look at Gumayusi so far. In his LCK debut match, he did actually pick up first in damage per minute, damage percentage, CS difference at 15, goal difference at 15. So far, Gumayusi has been impressing here for T1, and he's definitely a player that gained a lot of hype. We saw him actually in not the most recent Kespa Cup, but even the one before that. And certainly a guy that people have been really looking forward to break out into the scene. And so far, in his one match, he's been looking good, but now is the real test. Ghost and Beryl are going to be pretty good as well.
Yeah, a bit of a trade here for Showmaker in the mid lane as we're showing off the fact that Fake has played Azir a hell of a lot of times. And he does a lot of winning as well, 78%. This was, of course, one of his premier picks, dating back to about when Easyhoon left the team. Easyhoon was sort of their resident pigeon man in the mid lane, and then Faker, of course, took up the mantle himself and went even further beyond. And Showmaker trying to just trade his health bar a little bit for this CS. And Khan getting a bit of a shove here towards the top side as well. Looks like we've got a lot of pushing in our solo lanes for Damwon Kia, but T1 with a lot of control of the bottom side of the map, which could certainly be a foothold into this game.
And, a lot of talk in the LCK nowadays about the top lane. Who's the new best top laner? Because, yes, Khan is very good, but people don't see him as the titan that Nuggery was. So they say, well, who is it now? Will Khan step in to take the title? Will it be Kana? Obviously, a new huge talent from the side of T1. Will it be Doran, who self-acclaimed is the, you know, new best top laner, but hasn't been proven yet. We get a lot of action here, though, Max.
Yeah, exactly. Canyon has jived over the wall. Faker in a little bit of trouble, but the watch out Eep going to do a fair bit of damage. Flash out from Canyon. As maybe we shouldn't have been talking him up so much. We've already cast a curse in the previous series. As Damwon Kia losing a flash first here, and a little bit of control given over to T1.
Yeah, you know, a very skirmishy, kind of spicy trade there in the beginning. Elam just moving on in. He's a Lilia, so he loves his popcorn chicken, obviously. And goes in, tries to steal it, gets the smite on the big one, and then Canyon, in very aggressive fashion, hopping over the wall, trying to take an aggressive trade, but way too many minions, and has to eventually flash away. As we have a little trade up here in the top side. Also, Beryl 9-2 on Alistair, the pick where he first began to make a name for himself.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, if you cast your minds back to 2019 Worlds, that was when Beryl really launched himself onto the international stage on this pick. And I find there's like so much to talk about that we somehow glossed over the fact that Beryl's playing his very famous Alistair from such a long time ago. I remember I was calling for this in the Kesper Cup. I just wanted to see it, right? And didn't really happen, but finally he's back on a champion that he's just so good at.
Yeah, it's a treat, this game. This series, indeed, will be an awesome treat, especially if T1, you know, move up to actually the spot where they can challenge Damwon Kia. A lot of people were asking after Damwon's incredible performance in Worlds 2020 if they were going to become the next SK Telecom formerly, and now T1, you know, the most dominant team in Korea that never seems to lose. And, you know, it'll be up to T1 to try to change the narrative, to say, hey, no, wait, you know, we're still the T1 of old. We're still the best team. And that's what makes this matchup even more exciting, because they're trying to wrest back the throne away from the super dominant team that is Damwon Kia now.
Yeah, and also, like, how much was Zephyr actually doing for this squad as well? How much was his influence in drafting and in practice a reason why Damwon Kia was so good? Because Zephyr is a coach as well that has gone through so much evolution, even over the last few years, as there are a lot of people that weren't very happy with what he was doing before he joined Damwon, and I was one of them, right? There were a lot of his drafts that we were really raising eyebrows at, you know, prior to 2020, but after that, things looking better and better, so it's just a lot that we need to learn from a series like this. Having a look at the drafts, you know, we've spoken about it at length, but T1 looking like they do have, you know, just a very standard sort of teamfighty style composition around Faker and Gumayushi doing a lot of the work and trying to play around Canna getting on in there and securing team fights as best they can. So I don't think the draft is necessarily anything, you know, creative or crazy or anything like that. It's still just going to be solid for T1's first game with Faker on the roster.
Yeah, it's very comfortable, too, as Elam is sprinting to the top lane.
Yeah, Khan trying to escape here. Bowling ball going to miss, as Khan just going to ulti out of the way. Thankfully, did manage to get to level 6. Canna, of course, level 7, so a few of these minions, and then Khan will be alongside him, but no ulti, so no aggression here for Damwon on the top side, as Showmaker trading very nicely here with Faker. Goes back to the Unbound Soul in the end.
Yeah, so, you know, pretty standard, straightforward comp from T1, but I feel like it's a very comfortable composition. It's stuff, obviously, for Faker is most played on the Azir. And here we go.
Yeah, it's a big flash in from Canna as Canyon's trying to dive out of the way, but no, first blood going over to T1.
Oh, they're looking
and a
for
teleport to dive in towards the top lane. Faker does get there first. Showmaker going to show up as well. They're not able to take down the bear, but I like the opportunism here from T1.
Yeah, no, fantastic play from T1 so far. I mean, this is great to see. Very aggressive, proactive, moving into the enemy jungle. They know that Canyon doesn't have his flash after the trade that they took in the mid lane, and they take that opportunity to get in there at the perfect timing, pick up the kill. Now they should be able to get this Rift Herald. Teleport, though, coming in.
Yeah, Unbound Soul going to come through. Elam is able to nail the smite, so that's fine, and it looks like Canna should be able to escape. No flash, but he's managed to slice to create enough distance. Wasn't able to get out of the way of that spear from Canyon. But still, he's got teleport. He should be absolutely fine to get back to this lane with a fully recovered health bar.
He ran all the way down the lane just in case. You know, they could have just followed all the way through. Ooh, nice hook from Carrier.
Yeah, Carrier showing off a little bit here.
Yeah, Carrier definitely a guy that I was a very big fan of last year.
Yes, indeed.
And, you know, I didn't become any less of a fan. I feel like Beryl maybe outshined him just a bit as the year came along, but Carrier still incredibly strong and a huge pickup for the side of T1. And T1 using this early lead, trying to go for the Dragon.
Yeah, Canyon in a little bit of trouble up here towards the top side, though, as Canner in pretty good position to try and get his health bar down, but Primal Surge going to help him out. Calder Weak going to mop up some of the little rocks, but otherwise everything's going to be fine. And now Showmaker looking for a back timing as T1 do lock down that Ocean Drake. Second one up on the block will be the Mountain, and then we've got either an Infernal or a Cloud Soul this game.
Yeah.
So hoping for a fiery one, I think.
You take a look at this, and it's really, I think it's Ellen's call. He's like, hey, come down here. I see that the Gromp is being taken, and the timing is perfect. Canna gets in there, gets the flash down, knowing that, again, the Nidalee does not have the flash, and that's the power of Renekton in the early game, you know? He can make some fireworks alongside of a jungler that loves gank assist like Lilia. And so that combo together, they move in, take what's rightfully theirs in their mind, and you know, I think they probably could have stayed and tried to get that kill onto Khan as well with the teleport, but they say, well, let's not take the risk. I mean, we already got the win, we already got the lead. You know, it could go wrong if someone messes up, so let's just play it safe with the lead that we already got with a nice play with the first blood.
Yeah, I liked it. Worked out very, very well. Clean stuff from T1. That macro that we saw in their first series that was so impressive is once again working out very, very well for this team. As Canyon moving on over on his Krugs right now as T1 fighting for vision, making sure that the kitty cat doesn't have free reign to move into this bottom lane unhindered. And so far it's worked out for Damwon Kia, as you can see, using a lot of resources to make sure that they're as blind as possible. As LM says, your chickens belong to us.
They're going to be his again. He's got the smite, and once again, just clears that out. And they're getting this forward vision as well, just as a team trying to kind of lock down some vision, but Damwon Kia have been able to, you know, fight up against that. They've cleared a bunch of those wards that were around their jungle, but still river control going the way of T1. The top lane, pretty even at the end of the day. Just, you know, Bramble Vast, we got Executioner's Calling, a bunch of armor going to be stacked here, as here we go again.
Yeah. Ulti comes in, that's a dead Faker. So easy. The Showmaker and Canyon to lock that one down. Not a lot that Faker could do about it. Didn't even have time to flash to get out of that.
Yeah, pretty straightforward kill there onto Faker.
Oh, this hook is... Oh, I got so excited. And an Unbreakable will happen.
Yeah. Power of Alistair. It just happens sometimes. Ellum has snuck into this brush. This is interesting.
Ghost does have his shield bow available, but there's going to be a Rift Herald in this lane, so it's just going to be Gumayushi getting as much money as possible. As, yep, it's going to be a few plates going over to the Aphelios. Very, very nice.
Yeah, he gets the one.
Area moves back to the lane.
Ellum picks up the other, and he's also being very aggressive, trying to get that red buff, should be able to take it. Note that Canyon was up towards the enemy jungle in the Rift Herald pit. The Rift Herald not available right now, so just kind of off doing his own thing, while Ellum is just, you know, we were talking about this matchup. I mean, Ellum has had his number the whole way through so far, and huge props so far to him, as a really nice setup here from Showmaker. I think that Faker needs to flash the second after he gets knocked up, otherwise he's just dead, but not showing the respect there and gets pummeled down. At least he saves his flash for the next time.
Yeah. Not the end of the world for either side, as you can see. T1 still rolling with a bit of an advantage, about 800 gold now, as Canyon takes his chickens for the second time, having started on that camp at the very beginning, but at 13.5 minutes, having only taken a chicken camp twice, that's a feels bad. Quite a few camps in the lead is Ellum, about 3.5 right now, as Gumayushi going to take a lantern ride to get himself to safety, and Beryl's just going to head back home. As, yeah, Ghost I mean, he's totally fine. He's a Samira. He wants to be getting towards teamfight readiness as much as he can. And he's only behind by a little bit of farm, so nothing too much to worry about. But Gumayusi continuing to pile on these stats in the CS difference department and everything like that. He's certainly a force to be reckoned with here for T1 on the bottom side and is a massive hard carry in the late game in his own right on this Aphelios. As Canyon, he's thinking if it works once, he may as well do it again. No flashes were needed. As Elam, he's moving on forward as well, so in great position to protect his mid lane.
Yeah, Faker with the cheeky bait with the back there. Known for his little mind games, knowing that he has Elam nearby. And if he could bait someone onto him, maybe could turn that one around. Do you see the plate difference here? A couple more that looks like picked up for the side of T1. You'll note that they got 6, but only seemingly picked up 4 of them in terms of players that were nearby for those plates. So that's why they don't have all of the gold. Our observer team very much on top of that, so I believe them.
Yep. Kisan really, really good at always noting it. Jonah strong as well, big shout outs. But now the Drake is getting taken down very, very low. Teleports coming through for everyone. Elam locks down the Dragon. That's their second. Headbutt pole onto only one, but Elam's taking so much damage. Goes into the stopwatch, and Khan is just eradicated so early. Unfortunately, Faker doesn't find too much with the ultimate, but Gumayushi's there with the quadra kill. Make it a penta in the first team fight of the game.
Oh man, Gumayusi just popping off. He's got people running at him from all different directions, and he just shuts them down one by one. A massive victory in the team fight there, going the way of T1. And man, I can't wait to see that one again. Elam popping up in his chair right there, as he is super excited, as he should be. You see that Dom and Kia are like, okay, we gotta fight this, we gotta get in there. Smite win starts to Elam. More victories for him in the jungle matchup. Khan gets way too ahead of his team, and then Dom and Kia say, we gotta commit anyway, but they're so far behind in this fight that it doesn't matter. It turns into a slaughter fest, a meat grinder here for the Aphelios, who is protected the entire way and is just able to essentially stand there like a turret and take down every single player as they all go crazy.
Yeah, they all lose their minds, and Faker's just chilling in the middle there. Just cool-headed as always, but a sly grin at the end. Yeah, just amazing stuff. Faker only catching Canyon with that ultimate, but it created so much space and so much craziness. The Gumayusi was just able to stand there and deliver. So impressive. As we have a look at all the gold that he managed to pick up, 2,000 ahead of Ghost now. And this game has been completely thrown on its head.
I thought maybe the...
Yeah, slight attempt there.
I thought they had a chance, but I guess once they saw the control ward, they're just not going to take the chance to move up into that lane. T1, very, very careful. You know, you were talking about Faker being just calm, cool, collected after the pentakill. Maybe he was just calming everybody down, you know, and if they didn't have him, perhaps they would have made a silly mistake to just move into the lane and maybe give something back to Damwon Kia. But not the case, as T1 have looked incredibly solid and clean so far in this game. The early lead from the jungle coming from Elam over Canyon, who would have thought? Not what I expected coming into this one, but it is what it is. Props to him. And then a huge team fight. All 5 of those kills going to Gumayusi, who is now 5-0 and has 2 items at 17 minutes.
And it's also Hurricane Kraken Slayer as well, which just pairs so beautifully together. This Aphelios is absolutely public enemy #1 for any Damwon Kia fan. We'll see whether Damwon are going to be able to change up their approach to these team fights. I feel like the beginning of that team fight, to go back to it, I mean, it was such a huge moment in this game, but it felt to me like Beryl was looking for a headbutt pole flash into the 4 people, but unfortunately couldn't get the input off and only landed it on 1. Might have been a big reason as to why things didn't necessarily work out, but hindsight's 20/20, and we can't know exactly what they're thinking, but that's what it sort of looked like to me.
Yeah, you know, he only got the 1 guy, and it looked like Dom and Kia were like, okay, we got the 1 guy, let's try to focus him down. And then Khan moved forward, and it was an excellent hook. Death sentence from Keria that just put that Volibear in the death chamber from 100 to 0. and brought his value from, you know, potential 100 to 0, and just let that Volibear do absolutely nothing in the team fight. So props to Keria. We were talking to him, or about him earlier, and he pulls off a nice little play to start off that fight. And after that, it was pretty simple for T1, you know, just protect the president, essentially. Everybody
yeah, exactly.
forms a circle around Gumayusi, and all of Damwon Kia just pile in 4v5, and they're just like, okay, easy victory for us.
Well, it's not over just yet. 19.5 minutes into this game. As was that Charlie? Yeah.
She hopped up on my desk. I put her back down. She wasn't happy about it. She wanted to be part of the cast too. What about me?
Carrier's going to get speared. Just going to give a little bit of extra information. 15 seconds until this Cloud Drake does come up. Unfortunate that we do have a Cloud Soul this game, but I think that's probably enough fire with how things have gone so far. Khan just getting the minion wave to the turret and will now move his way down. Teleport almost available for the Volibear. As it looks like Damwon Kia, they want to try it again. This could be madness, as it didn't go so well last time, but Showmaker off on the flank. Beryl looking to try and get into position, as there's the Emperor's Divide very early in the fight this time around from Faker. Using it defensively, half the health bar now on the Dragon as Ellen going down relatively low. Showmaker, they're trying to turn on him. Flash forward from Canna, and he gets taken down so low. Ulti to try and get out, but he's not going to be able to as Damwon just sneak away the Dragon. But it's not exactly the biggest prize, and they have to try and get out. They're trying to get pincered out, though, here from T1 as Canna, slice, dice, trying to get on in there. Stuns up the Volibear, who ults himself to relative safety. Ghost trying to get some damage down, but not going to get slept this time around. And T1, yeah, right over to the Baron. With Showmaker dead for another 15 seconds, they may just be able to take this as Beryl, he's well and truly away from the paddock now. But he will be able to get at least to the remnants of a turret, as now Canna will be found by Khan. The rest of T1 in position to teamfight again.
Yeah, you could see they were thinking about the Baron. They had Crescendum Aphelios, who is 6-0, and they have an Azir. So there is actually a chance for them to just burn down that Baron with their insane Baron damage, not to mention Lilia, and even Renekton is not half bad. So they had the Baron damage, but, you know, TP is used by Khan as Damwon Kia are desperately trying to get anything in this game as T1 are just dominating them so far. The Gale Force, I think, is used there to try to get away, but it does not matter. Canna leading the charge as they take down one. Yes, the Cloud Drake is taken, but who cares? They get the teleport in.
Yeah.
Canna moves in, collects another kill for the team with the stun onto the front man, and you know, from there, just snowballing their lead incredibly well. Gumayusi has 10,700 gold at this point in the game, 22 minutes in.
He's ahead by an entire Runon's Hurricane and a little bit more. That is, that's a lot of money. He's done a lot of damage as well. That's sort of what we experienced in that first team fight. Canna as well, getting a lot of work done. I've actually really appreciated the way he's started off a lot of these fights, especially in the more recent skirmishes, as these spears feel magnetic still from Canyon, but he hasn't had the game I think a lot of people were expecting so far. As Damwon Kia still on the front foot, still looking for more, getting vision down and now setting up for this outer turret in the mid lane.
I think this is a good time to mention... okay.
Unbound, so he's fine.
Thanks, Showmaker, getting out of there. I think it's a good time to mention, you know, Damwon Kia's composition, they loved to skirmish and they loved fighting at like 1 to maybe 2 items. But now, I mean, T1 have Azir Aphelios, right? They love scaling up in this one and waiting until the late game. Already, Gumayusi is incredibly accelerated. So there are a couple of huge carries already on the side of T1 very early on in this game. And I think we're just kind of sailing past the point where Damwon Kia were going to be strong in this game. And I think that's why Damwon Kia are still trying to push the issue. They're still looking for plays because they know that, you know, if it goes a little bit too late, they're not going to be feeling too great about it unless Ghost gets some incredible, you know, crazy...
He's going to have to get a return pentacle.
Yeah,
I
something
think.
like... Otherwise, you know, they're just grasping at straws. So they're really trying to press the issue now as Beryl just has to give away his flash for free.
Yep, hightailing it away from Elm here, who does put together his Moonstone Renewer, grabs the very early Zhonya's, but we've seen that was so valuable in every little tussle that they've had. Elm's performance so far, just fantastic. As Ghost just trying to catch up so desperately. Collector has been put together alongside the shield bow, but that's one Infinity Edge behind, which is just not what you want to see. T1 now grouping around this Baron, and things are very dark for Damwon Kia.
We'll see what they can do here. I mean, as we mentioned, the Baron damage is still there. Their turn off of the Baron, also really awesome. Thresher and Ekton coming for you.
Yeah, well, there's the taxi out from Beryl, actually buffering the stun quite nicely also in the headbutt animation, so doesn't have to use the Unbreakable Will, and that is very, very important. As now Khan looking for Canna off to the side, but he's the one that can face check on T1, absolutely. Now back towards the Baron pit, and Damwon Kia looking for some resets. Looks like T1 of a similar mindset.
Yeah, just kind of hanging around here. They would love to bait Damwon Kia into a fight where they could just get a turn and pick a couple people off and take down that objective. But so far, Damwon have been pretty good about trying to clear out the vision, not overextending or getting out of position. It's either Beryl, who has his Unbreakable Will to try to push forward. Even though he doesn't have Flash, he could potentially survive. Or it's something like a Nidalee who's throwing spears, laying down traps, able to hop through the brushes and gain that extra movement speed to try to scout around the area. So T1 haven't really had an opportunity to go for that big objective just yet, even though it would be pretty nice. The Cloud Soul still, on the minds. I don't think it's really a game changer, but, it would be nice to get to that and maybe open up the Elder Drake objective for this late game team fighting comp that T1 does have. Yep. Still going to be pretty happy about opening up that Elder.
Yep, and having more ultimates and more movement speed is very valuable for this team composition anyway. So I think it's all right. It's not exactly the favorite dragon, but it's not terrible by any means. Having a look down the line, it's an extra BF sword for Ghost, but otherwise the item build has not really changed. Bloodthirster complete for Showmaker. You got a Shurelya's that is newly buffed on this patch for Beryl, but maybe that's going to be used to run away rather than what Beryl is really known for on his Alistar.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a chance for Damwon Kia to come back into this game, it's probably going to either be a huge flashy play from Showmaker or Beryl, right? Ghost isn't going to be going in there alone. Spears aren't going to be the game changer. Nidalee not going to be able to burst anyone down at this point. Khan with the Volibear, obviously he can engage pretty well, but he's not going to be able to, make a huge game-breaking play at this point in time, so we're looking at either Showmaker to really line up a couple people and maybe get everybody on the side of Damwon Kia to jump in there all together, or maybe just Beryl to do what he's very well known for, as they're chipping away at the Baron once again.
Yep, Faker from over the wall, much as Azir likes to do. Han was rotating in. I don't believe he's been seen just yet, as Ghost has to flash. Very early on, Hook goes wide, looking for Canyon. Khan still lying in wait. Minion wave unattended to there towards the bottom side. So T1 losing a little bit of gold based on lane positioning, but not too much to worry about. Gold is something that they have plenty of at this point. As Ellen spots the bear. That's the information that T1 required. And they're just going to take down the Rift Scuttler. And things are still very dark in the river.
Yeah, Elam has been such a huge factor in this win so far. And it's been really nice to see, even going over there and scouting the Volibear out. Now we might have some action as the box is down. They're trying to burst down the Baron.
Yeah, it's going down extraordinarily quickly. Showmaker just clearing out of control. What it looks like Damwon don't even want to fight for this one, as Canyon couldn't get himself into smite position. Khan gets played back, and there's the pickup. The Samira unable to do anything as Showmaker decides that he needs to try and start a fight, and Gumayushi flashes away from Beryl. He'll just solo out the cow, and now they're looking for more. Carrier, flash, flay. Faker looking for some damage, but not quite able to get their Carrier. He can get over, and he's got a lantern for Faker to follow. The kitty cat can't escape the pigeon. Some revenge for the birds as Faker is able to take him down. And now Damwon look completely lost.
Yeah, they look absolutely stomped in this game so far. If I'm being completely honest, T1 have put on such an immaculate show of League of Legends here in this game number one. Everything has been perfect to a T. And now they're looking for more. They want to take down these 2 inhibitors and go on from there. 29 minutes into the game, they've already hit their power spikes, and they are just dominating Damwon Kia here tonight.
It's been so long since Damwon has lost anything, right? They were so dominant. They lost, what, 1 game in a best of 5 in the Kesper Cup? This must be a very sobering experience for all of the players, as Damwon Kia now having to deal with a shambles of a base. It's turning into rubble before their eyes. But let's have a look at this fight once again.
Yeah, it's pretty much just Damwon Kia scrambling. They're like, can we really contest the Baron? Ooh, I'm not sure. And you see Beryl just gets flashed away from easily. He's just burned through Unbreakable Will. Doesn't do anything to that 6-0 Gumayusi, as Faker finds the Lantern, gets over and gets the kill. But really,
Harry is so good.
Yeah, he's incredible. he's an awesome player, and he always has been. And now 7-0 is Gumayusi, and it's been a team effort. You know, I feel like when we get to the Pog vote, maybe I'll throw mine over to Kana or Ellen, and probably Gumayusi is going to get it. But I feel like there have been many moving parts and many players popping off in a big way here on the side of T1 so far.
Well, speaking of Kana, he's going to have a lot of friends here soon. Sorry, Khan, as of course Kana has the friends delivered to help him out, and this is a very, very scared Volibear. Yeah. It's anarchy over here.
Season.
Indeed. And now the bottom lane is going to be the last port of call. Of course, T1, they do like their textbook plays, as Damwon are looking to try and trade, but it's never going to be a good one.
Guys, your base?
Yeah, not a lot of minions in this base right now, but T1 do have a conga line moving forward, and the Baron buff is still there for another 10 seconds. Is this game just going to last another 10 seconds as Damwon Kia do make it back? They've pushed out these waves pretty successfully, but you can see T1 just trying to brute force it. Ghost is going to eat that Moonlight Vigil. That may help them. As now Elam off to the side. Now the Flash Headbutt Pulverize does come in. Showmaker not able to quite create enough distance with the ultimate, though, as Ghost hasn't got into the fight yet. And unfortunately, T1's wallets are way too heavy. The second Nexus turret will go down, and the Nexus will indeed follow. Damwon Kia put back in their place after being right on top of the mountain for so long, and now they're going to have to reclimb it once more.
Unbelievable first game here. Damwon Kia coming in as the favorites. They get smacked down by T1. Faker comes back.